Welcome to the milk bar. 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 Welcome to the milk bar.
Welcome along to episode 532 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever, and coming up on the show, we'll be hearing from Ricky Tomlinson and Co-op Funeral Care as he decides to tell us what his funeral songs would be. Also having a chat with the Green Goddess Diana Moran about keeping active in older age. Also, we'll be having a little bit of a word or two with the Songsters. Phil Holden, their chair. They are the Gentlemen Songsters. They're from Dudley, and they've got a gig coming up at the theatre. Well, they practice in Kings Winford, so we'll be hearing from them all about that with their choir. We'll catch up with Lisa Faulkner at Reference Migraine Awareness Week and find out about Keeping Faith, which season 2 is now available on DVD. We've got Amy Fionn Edwards telling us all about that one. But first of all, from the 23rd through to the 28th of September, a comedy theatre group are taking over the Blue Orange in Hockley. They have 2 shows in that time period. To tell me more, I'm joined now by Phil and Laura. Hello, both.
Good evening.
Hi.
So, what's going on then? Because it's 2 shows over the time period we talked about.
Yeah. Laura first, seeing as your show's on first.
Well, this is my dad, and we have double booked a venue. It's a play that I've written called First Aid that I'm also in for the first 3 nights, and then the next 3 nights it's a play that Dad's written that I'm also in. So the lip trots are taking over the Blue Orange.
As long as there's nepotism, that's fine. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, I got him in.
Yeah.
So yes, from the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's Strange Encounters of a Social Kind. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's First Aid, which is Laura's play.
Yes.
Laura's written and directed First Aid, and she's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote and directed Strange Encounters, and Laura's also in that.
So tell me more about the rest of the cast, though, because a comedy, it's big, isn't it, the comedy group?
It's quite big. Yeah, there's 12 in each cast.
Yeah, I think so. There's
about
3
12.
actors who's in both, aren't there? So that's a total of, I can't do maths, something like 25 in total.
20-ish, 25 actors.
And what's the collective noun for comedy performers? I'm sure that there's a polite one and a rude one, isn't there? Let's gaggle.
Gaggle of comedians.
Yes.
Mugs.
Okay. Well, okay. So, what is the basis of all of this? First aid. I'm going to guess there may be an injury involved in that one.
Well, it's a first aid course. It's a load of people who get sent to a first aid course by the job centre or the places they work. None of them have any clue about first aid. And I play a mad hippie who's trying to convert everyone. There's a DJ. There's a couple of sort of chavvy characters. There's an ex-teacher, and basically they all sort of solve each other's problems. One of the chavs has a difficult relationship with her daughter, who turns up on the course, who's 15, and the teacher talks to both of them, mends that relationship, and it's all very classical. Ends tie together in the end, sort of thing.
The same way as a triangular bandage would.
Exactly.
I'm liking the analogy there. It's going to work well. And tell us a bit more about your strange group.
Well, Strange Encounters, it's a similar sort of premise. They're both set in a community centre, and it's a load of people who come together with the intention of making new friends. Laura plays Estelle, who has the idea of setting up this group, and yeah, it's just a load of people who come together. They want to make new friends. There's a few twists in there. There's a few unexpected visitors. There's a mad tea lady. You wouldn't want her sandwiches, I can assure you. Okay. And you don't really want to drink her tea.
No,
and her cakes are something to behold.
She's
but
like
then there's a
cross between Mrs. Cropley and Mrs. Overall, isn't she?
but there's an unexpected visitor turns up as well, and that throws things into turmoil. And it's how these people get on. And I think both of the plays, they're sort of how human interaction and how they get on, and there's issues and there's arguments and fallouts, but somehow when people get together and they get thrown together in a group, they find a way of getting on with each other.
Yeah, and but also having a laugh as well, and there will always be some comedy moments. And I mean, you guys, as a comedy theatre group, you've done so many different bits and pieces through the years that I've known you, let alone beyond that.
Yeah, we've done sketch shows, we've done full-length plays, we've done pantomimes, and it all is comedy, and it's I don't know. It's all comedy that you can bring your family along to. You know, they'll have a
But
good
this
laugh.
success, though, it's forced you into a bigger venue this time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. This is the first time we've sort of, my side of it, it's the first time we've taken them out of church hall performances and gone into what you might call a legitimate theatre. First
Somewhere
aid-
where the seats are bolted to the floor
That's
rather than
it,
moved
yeah,
in
they
and out.
can't
Yeah.
throw 'em at us.
Yeah.
First Aid was at the Rose in April, at the Rose Theatre in Kidderminster, and it sold out, so that was quite exciting. We thought, let's go and invade Birmingham.
Yeah.
Now.
It's good for the actors as well to, you know, they've done it church hall level. It's nice for them to step up a level and sort of
And to
be
get the feel
challenged
for
a
the
little
venue,
bit.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's some actors who've never performed at this kind of venue before, so it's really exciting for them. It's a real challenge for them as well, and it sort of steps them up.
But it's also good to do theatre in unusual places as well. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
church halls, pretty much can accommodate that sort of thing
Yeah.
easily. But it's great when you get to do some little pop-up theatre stuff too.
Yeah.
And again, you've done this sort of thing in the past, and I'm sure we'll see you doing more of that in the future as well.
Well, I hope so.
Definitely,
We just
yeah.
need to find some more material, don't we?
Yes. I mean, there was one show that I did at a festival or a section of a show, and it was basically at the end of a sort of market bazaar. So I was having to scream over people just buying and selling, and I probably had about 2 people watching me.
They applauded though.
That was an interesting.
As
But
long as
yes.
as long as both the audience and at least the audience outnumbers you, which is
Well, yeah, that's true.
because you do quite a few one-woman pieces, don't you?
I do, yes, and I can't. That's the advantage. You see, there is always more audience than actors if it's one person.
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever had less than me.
So that's fine. And, it's all part of sharing the experience as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are great at doing that. Very much looking forward to seeing the shows. So where do we get tickets from?
You can contact the Blue Orange Direct. They've got a website, and obviously the blueorangetheatre.co.uk, I think it is. You can get the tickets direct from them, or you can contact us via Facebook, or it's easy to find a comedy theatre group, Stairbridge, on Facebook, or they can contact us by email, acomedytheatregroup@hotmail.co.uk, and we'll sort ticket for you. It will be very funny. I've seen this play, and I've seen rehearsals up teen times, because I first did it 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we recast it, and we rehearsed last Thursday, and they still made me laugh. And I've seen it up teen times, and they still make me laugh.
That's a sign of a good. And there's comedy we constantly go back to. I mean, if you look back to things like Morecambe and Wise, and we head back in time through Tommy Cooper, that sort of thing. They're things you may know what's coming. 2 Ronnies, 4 candles. You know, that's all going to make you giggle. So we're talking that sort of quality of humour.
We're very influenced by that. Morecambe and Wise, 2 Ronnies, or Hancock, Steptoe and Son, all that sort of thing. That's all where my influences come from.
And me as well, because
You've grown up with it, haven't
Dad's
you?
brought me up on that. First Aid is like a cross between Are You Being Served, The Office, and Fawlty Towers.
Okay, so we've got plenty of great stuff to look out for. Comedy theatre group Stairbridge is what we're looking for online, or Google for the Blue Orange Theatre. And we look forward to having a great time. I think I have to say break a leg, even if it's a comedy show, don't I? So break a
You're
leg.
allowed to.
Yeah,
You're allowed
and
to.
have a brilliant time on stage.
Thank you very much. And we want people to come along, be entertained, and have a very good laugh. It is very funny, both of them.
Yes, they are.
Well, we've got some fantastic new music for you on the show, and the choir singing for us when we hear from them in a short while's time. Before we have a chat with the choir, let's have a listen to Pennon Bray. This is his single, Strut.
Moving down the street, looking good and feeling neat. Walking down the road, stepping to the beat, got some lightning in my feet. Walking down the road, then I saw her face in the sky, kaleidoscope 1,000 eyes. Fix my gaze till the sunrise.
Phil Holden is the chairman of the Gentlemen Songsters Male Voice Choir, the Songsters for short, and he's with me now to tell me a bit about the group. Hello, sir.
Hi, good evening. Good evening.
Good to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing the boys in action very soon. Tell us a bit about the choir.
Well, the choir's been going 62 years, and we've got about 60 odd members, and it's a very thriving community. Lots of social events as well, and the guys get on really well. So it's a great fun place to come and sing. But of course, the main purpose of the choir is to sing.
Yeah.
And we love performing in public. Besides the town hall, we do weddings. We do things in churches. We do things outside. We do things at Christmas. Sing in pubs, for instance.
I bet that goes down well.
It does really well.
Yeah.
We have some great times at the Jelly Crispin and places like that. So yeah, it's a great social thing as well as an opportunity for singing.
But you're rehearsing out of the Methodist Church on Stream Road in Kings Winford. So is most of your work around this sort of area?
It's mostly in Dudley. We do travel a bit, but
You're allowed out.
Yeah, we're allowed out, and but I think because we get such a lot of bookings in and around the town, and we're very pleased to sing in the Black Country, and we're a charity, and we also donate proceeds from our activities to charitable causes. So often we support the mayor's charities, but also individual charities. So it's all good. It's good for everybody, really. It's a good win-win.
Yeah, a choir with the community at heart, and
Absolutely.
Enjoying going and singing to that community as well.
Absolutely, and I think one of as a charity, our charitable purpose is to spread singing, is to support singing, and support others to sing. And we encourage schools to come and sing with us. We sing with other choirs. So anything that we can do, which involves music and singing, performing, that's what we're best at.
And do you involve new members wherever possible too?
Absolutely, we're always looking for new members. We've just recently had a 2 or 3 come along, and they're more than welcome. And people are more than welcome just to come along and sit and listen to us and see what they like. And there's no onus on them to be able to sing well. They don't have to know music or be able to read music, because we can help them out. And anybody who feels like having this sing, come along and see what it's like.
But then work out, pick up the tune, and if you can sing in the shower, then start thinking about doing this.
Absolutely. And a lot of our lads, if you say, did you sing before? Yes, some people have sung before, but a lot of people just came along because they fancied the idea and they get in with the group. And because we're a big group and you're sitting amongst people who know what they're doing, it rubs off, and we give people special help as well. So it's a great opportunity to get involved in something that you'll enjoy. It also keeps you fit, keeps you mentally fit, because we have to learn the words when we perform them. So we don't sing with music. So it's mental agility, it's physical.
A bit of movement too in there? Is there some
No,
swaying?
we don't do a lot of movement.
No, okay.
We've tried movement, and sometimes it works, but with a group of lads...
Stick to what you know, just belt out the tunes.
Absolutely.
And what sort of music are you singing?
Well, we're singing everything normally, but on this particular occasion, on the 28th of September, our show is called Legends of Pop. And what we're doing is we're singing a number of big ballads and anthems. We're doing the Beatles, we're doing Queen, we're doing Simon and Garfunkel, Righteous Brothers, Hollies, Elvis Presley. You name them, we're doing the big ones.
Classics from over the decades.
Classics from over the decade. But we're also going to be joined with an international cabaret group, the Jivettes, young women and a young chap. And they're going to come along, and they're going to do Motown classics and some soul classics. They're going to sing some great songs as well. And they're going to compliment us, and we're going to do some stuff together. And we've also got a live band on stage. We're going to have 4 musicians, professional musicians, 3 of whom are graduates from the Birmingham Conservatoire, and they're brilliant musicians, and we've got special arrangements for all those pop numbers, and so it's going to be really vibrant and live, and it's great. And Ian Porky Jones, who's well known around here for his work on radio.
Infamous.
He's He's going to come along, and he's going to help us sort of set the scene and be a kind of a compere DJ.
Please, Porky, don't sing. I've heard you sing before. Don't do it to us. No, he's a lovely fella, and he's got an amazing voice,
I'm sure he has, and what we're trying to kind of recreate a sort of those of you that are young enough will remember the Top of the Pops and that kind of atmosphere where it's kind of non-stop music and lots of stuff going on.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
That's good. Where do people get tickets from then?
They can get tickets directly from us, or they can go on our website, which is gsmvc.org.uk, or they can get them via the town hall through the Dudley ticket booking service.
So check out Dudley Town Hall's website or search for the Gentleman Songsters.
Songsters Mailboys Choir. Go on to our website and you can get tickets through that.
And how much does it cost?
It's £20 a ticket, that's sort of, it's you've booked a seat, an actual seat, so you can choose a seat. We've got a balcony, we've got the stalls, so it's going to be a great night, and I think everybody's going to be going out singing. We're going to encourage the audience to sing along with their favourite classics, tap the feet, and if they want to get up and dance, they can do that too.
It's allowed. It's not frowned upon at all.
Not at all.
You may be stood still on the stage, but the audience can move as much as they like.
Absolutely. And I'm sure the girls who are on stage are going to get everybody going and get everybody up and singing and waving, particularly when we do all the Queen stuff. We want everybody up there standing up and doing the waving and all that. It's going to be a great night.
And Porky's going to lead you all that as well. He'll be stood in the corner doing his thing, I'm sure.
He'll be doing his thing as well. Yeah.
He's a top fella.
Yeah.
Right, so date and time again, please.
It's 7:30, Saturday the 28th of September. Doors open about 6:45, 7 o'clock. There's a bar with a bar extension afterwards for those of you that would like to stay. And we also end up singing in the bar afterwards. So we do all our big classic numbers that we haven't sung on the night, Nessun Dorma. And
you can take requests in the bar.
Absolutely. And
might cost them a pint, though, that's the thing.
The people can join in with that as well. So it's going to be a great night from start to finish.
Well, they are the Gentlemen Songsters. It is at Dudley Town Hall. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to take a listen to how it all sounds. But Phil, thanks for having a chat with us.
Oh, thanks for coming and thanks for your encouragement.
BBC One's hit Welsh drama Keeping Faith is back for season 2. It's now available on DVD. To tell me more about it, I'm joined now by Amy Fionn-Edwards. Hello.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Really, really well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, all good here. I'm just hoping your standard day-to-day life is a lot less stressful than the world that everybody lives in rural Wales and Keeping Faith.
Yeah, I'm having a lovely, lovely time. I'm free. I'm not in prison, so that's all good. words.
It does help, really, doesn't it? Because you're playing Madeline Vaughan, a wife and mother on trial for the alleged murder of her husband. We can't say too much around this, can we? Because we've got to keep some spoilers out of the public eye here.
Yes, I mean, I think you've almost said everything that we're allowed to say, I'd say, because we don't want any spoilers. But yes, I do. I play Madeleine, and in episode 1, you find out that her husband's been murdered, and she is the main suspect in that murder inquiry. And yeah, so she asks Faith, who she knows well because their children go to the same school, to help her and represent her and help her to prove her innocence. So that's how she is connected with Faith.
And we once again get to see the stunning scenery from the area of Wales that this is all set in. But, I mean, if you're incarcerated for a lot of this, you're going to miss out on all that, aren't you?
Well, do you know what? I had one scene outside. One scene. It's my favourite memory of the whole shoot.
So you're
No,
basically looking forward to the DVD release so you can see what you missed.
yeah, exactly. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, the scenery is amazing. My one outdoor scene was right in front of the estuary, it is a place of beauty. So yeah, I was really grateful for that, because I spent a lot of time staring at white tiles. But yeah, so that was a treat.
So tell us about the rest of the cast who obviously got to go into the outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fun to work with them. Eve Miles is something else. What a special woman. And yeah, no, they were just all great to work with, very friendly and fun. And considering it's quite an intense, serious drama, there's a lot of silliness and fun going on. So that's good. You kind of need that, really. I think everyone would explode with all the stress. So yes, it was a great cast, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the tension of whether your character did or didn't do it. We've obviously got to keep talking around this. It all builds up to quite an emotional pressure on yourself, and I'm sure that Eve's going through the same sort of thing as she's in the mindset of somebody who's defending a friend.
Yeah, I mean it is a great storyline, and it's brilliant too. The dynamic between the two women is really interesting, and I think they kind of need each other in different ways. Madeline needs Faith to help her prove her innocence, but also I think Faith needs to almost see out her own injustices in her own life through Madeline, if that makes any sense. So I think they're both women that are unhappy. They've been unhappy in their relationships with their husbands, and have both felt let down. And yeah, and so yeah, I can't really say too much, but it's a really interesting relationship between them. It's great. It's good fun to play.
But when it comes down to the other work that we see you on screen for, the things like your work in Peaky Blinders, in Luther, and The Detectorists, I mean, these are all very different roles, aren't they? You get a good spread. Your agent's doing some fun stuff here.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very lucky. I'm very lucky. Yeah, it's sort of a joy to get to play lots of different parts, and avoid getting typecast as much as possible, and just to be challenged, really. So yeah, no, I'm really grateful, and I like all those projects you've just listed. I've had such an amazing time on. So yeah, and again, like, this is very different to those. And also in setting Wales, which is fun. Got to stay in my own bed, which is also
and keep your own accent as well, which helps too, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is, I don't get to do that much. So yeah, it's really nice, and actually just to have an interesting drama like this come out of Wales is really exciting. And I hope there'll be more sort of investment in drama and TV and film in Wales. That'd be really brilliant. So yeah, I'm really proud to be part of it. It's such a great show, and it seems to have captured so many people's imagination, which is, yeah, it's fantastic.
And have the filming locations had an influx of visitors as well since all of this has been going on with these 2 seasons so far?
I believe so, yes. I was actually down in Larne where they filmed the main village stuff, and you can't move for a yellow Mac. Everybody has a yellow Mac down there. But yeah, no, it really has. It's amazing. But I mean, when you've got views like that, it's bound to draw people, isn't it? And it's nice to show it off.
Absolutely. Even if you spend your entire time looking at white tiles.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I'm sure that means you've had to redecorate the smallest room in the house just so it's a little brighter for you when you're in there. But season 2 of Keeping Faith available now on DVD, and we can also get it on streaming services as well, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
So whatever you do, enjoy it. Work out all the stuff that we couldn't talk about now, and it'll be rather good to enjoy another fantastic story in that wonderful rural Wales setting. For now, Amy Fionn Edwards, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Around 190,000 migraine attacks in Britain every day, affecting 6 million people on a regular basis, is costing the NHS a fortune, estimated at £1 billion directly, and the UK economy of around £2.4 billion. Migraines are clearly a problem, and there is no cure. To tell us more about these numbers, I'm joined now by Lisa Faulkner, celebrity chef and actress. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So obviously these are very worrying numbers, with 3 in 5 people saying they've given up hope of finding relief from their condition. And it is Migraine Awareness Week this week, so it is time to highlight this and try and tame people's migraines.
Absolutely. As a fellow migraine sufferer, I was delighted to get involved in this campaign because just to make everybody a little bit more aware, to understand that a migraine is not just a headache, and it's not just a bad headache. It has many other symptoms, and it's pretty horrific. I mean, I get probably about at least 2 migraines a month, and they're pretty debilitating. So it's lovely to be involved and to launch this website as well, tameyourmigraine.co.uk, to help and give tips to other people who are suffering from migraine.
Yeah, often people get lots of different triggers. We hear of things like chocolate and things like that. I personally was getting migraines as a sort of caffeine withdrawal thing. I'd have a horrendous headache, maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks, often waking me up in the middle of the night. I'd wake up, have a slice of toast, a cup of tea, and probably 2 paracetamol, 2 ibuprofen as well. And it was mostly the tea that was curing it, because it seemed to be caffeine withdrawal that was there. Other things that have affected me have been different coloured toothpaste. If I use green toothpaste, over a period of weeks, I build up to getting some horrendous migraines. I stop it gets out my system, and I'm a lot better.
Wow. But isn't that amazing? And I think that's what's great about a Migraine Awareness Week, is that we can talk about what different things trigger your migraine. And just from talking to other people and finding out that a green toothpaste does that for you. And absolutely, as you say, coffee, caffeine, for me, I can have 1 cup of coffee and it does level out my migraines or my headaches, definitely. If I have more than one, it can bring on a migraine attack. So it's really weird getting your levels of things right, and also knowing what works for you, what trigger it is for you, whether it's, it's skipping meals for me are definitely, if I don't eat regularly, and today talking to Dr. Mark Weatherall, he said to me that is a huge trigger for most people, is that you skip meals and your migraine doesn't like that and it triggers it.
Well, one thing I definitely think we need to get you to do is to go completely cold turkey and get caffeine out of your diet, because that could actually make a difference too. So when I stopped it, I had a headache constantly for about 2 to 3 days, but then got through it, and the world was a much happier place afterwards.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
So do that for me.
I think so. And last summer, I cut alcohol completely out of my diet because I was worried that maybe it was that was causing my migraines. So I stopped drinking. Sadly, it didn't. It didn't completely cure them, but I think it was that probably dehydration. That's another huge thing.
Yeah.
But if you go on the website, there is an assessment tool about which sort of says how migraines can impact your life, and it's a broad overview of migraines and sort of questions, a tool with lots of questions that you can answer, like how many days do you suffer from a migraine, etc. And you can download those questions and take them to your GP with your answers, and they can help you manage your migraine, because a lot of the time there's a lot of new stuff out there. There are lots of things that work for different people, but it's finding what works for you, and talking to your GP is a really good start.
Yeah, because it's not going to be just the pain that comes with it. It is going to be the change in your visual images that you see. It could be blurring of your vision. It could be a flashing light, something like that. There are lots of different symptoms, and sometimes one will come without the other, and that must be really confusing for many a sufferer.
Yeah, I think so, and each one is different. Sometimes, I know now when I see a flashing light, sometimes I see it out of the corner of my eye, and I can feel this sort of weird feeling, and I know that has started the migraine. And sometimes I can look at a flashing light and it doesn't do anything. It's just all dependent on where you are at that time. Do you know what I mean? Every other social sort of effect as well. So that, food, diet, alcohol, water, caffeine, as you say, flashing lights, loud music, all sorts of things can trigger it. Hormones,
And it completely change the way in which you can do things and interpret things as well. And sometimes it might affect your speech patterns as well. So, it could just be different bits of your brain aren't able to cope with what's going on, and to say that the migraine can be completely debilitating in many different ways. So, it's interesting to see these figures and how many people are actually affected by this, and it's something which is certainly worth talking about during Migraine Awareness Week, because it's very often an employer might say, oh yeah, well, you've just got a bit of a headache, or maybe you did have too much to drink last night, and you're just trying to cover it off with something which is a known medical condition, and that's not. There are so many sufferers out there who just get this at random.
Absolutely, and I think that's the great thing about this Awareness Week, is to say, you know what, when somebody doesn't really understand it, maybe take the time to research it a little bit, just to go on the website and find out exactly what a migraine can be, because believe me, it's not just a hangover, it's not just a headache, and it is, as you say, it can affect your speech, it can affect everything in your brain. So it's a horrible thing to have.
So once again, what's the details for this Tame Your Migraine promotion?
It's tameyourmigraine.co.uk, and it can, there's lots and lots of tips on there, and resources and different websites that you can be directed to as well. So it really is fantastic.
Well, certainly when it comes to your celebrity chefing, you'll be making sure the right things are in your diet and looking at your work as an actor. I'm sure it can be a bit of a pain if you're having a migraine when you're trying to portray somebody else, so that cannot be easy at all.
No, I mean, I think for anybody suffering, it's really difficult. But, whether you're picking your kids up from school and you can't move. For me, if I'm on set, there's nobody that can sort of stand in for me when we're, filming John and Lisa's Weekend Kitchen, because unfortunately my name's in the title. So you just have to get on with it. And with the right medication, I can just about hold it together. But those days are tough, and it has happened while I've been filming, and I just have to carry on, it's really hard.
Yep, not an easy one to get through, but certainly there is at least room to talk around this, and hopefully a few tips between the groups of people out there can actually make a difference. Lisa Faulkner, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Time for some more new music now from Primal Static. This time round, this is Velvet Crush. That's Velvet Crush here on the Milk Bar. 15 leading UK charities with support from Sport England are to launch We Are Undefeatable, a campaign that aims to support people living with long-term health conditions to get active. Someone who is constantly active is Diana Moran, aka the Green Goddess. Hello!
Good afternoon, Jason. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and I trust we find you well.
I'm fighting fit.
We have to mention the fact that you are 80 years old, and this is a shock to me because we see you on TV periodically still, and you are looking as fit and great as ever.
Well, it shows that being physically active can certainly help as the years go by. And I'm talking to you today all about a campaign that I'm helping to support. And it's called We Are Undefeatable. And in this campaign, it's being led by 15 health and social care charities. It's designed to inspire and support the 15 million people in England with long-term health conditions to be more active.
Now, nearly a quarter of these people feared that physical activity would make their health issues worse. And in many cases, that just isn't true, is it?
It's absolutely true. 69% of those who are unwell think that they're not able to do things, and yet they'd like to be fit. It's just finding out how, because if they can be more physically active, it has lots of benefits. Many of them will lose some of the weight that some of them are excessively carrying, and also it helps mental conditions as well. I mean, it's invisible conditions very often, things like arthritis and diabetes, and they have decided that, they can't be as active as they used to be, and we are now trying to encourage them to think again.
Now, lack of energy is often something that they cite as a problem here. So how do you think they can get themselves feeling a little bit more energetic?
Well, this is the thing, to try and get them to overcome those barriers. Many of them feel too tired or too uncomfortable, and this is what the campaign's all about. Incidentally, we start some TV ads next week, and this may well inspire people because there are many inspiring people, young and older, on these TV ads who are now playing walking football, or they're doing basketball from wheelchairs, or table tennis from wheelchairs, or chair exercises. And I know from the work that I've done over many, many years that if in actual fact we can be more active, it certainly helps us and not only our physical well-being, but it also helps mentally as well.
Yeah, because Rebecca Fowler, who at the age of 36 and based in Redditch is suffering from multiple sclerosis and depression, she does wheelchair dancing, and this has had a major impact on her life, hasn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely superb. Now, I can quote another friend of mine. She's in her 40s, and she was a champion swimmer. And then, sadly, over the last 10 years, she's had degeneration of the spine. She's permanently in a wheelchair. She can't stand up anymore. And she was putting on weight. She was so depressed. It was really it was sad to see what was going on. And then suddenly the switch was flicked, and she now gets up in the morning, puts herself into her bathing suit, into her wheelchair, into her car, goes to the local health centre, gets out, sort of bobs along on her bottom, slides herself into the water, does over a mile every day of swimming. She's lost weight, and physically and mentally she's really buzzing again. So it shows what a difference it can make.
And it is keeping that link to the lives that they've had before the health condition kicked in that really can make a massive difference to the general overall outlook.
It can. It's just getting people to start to overcome those barriers that we've just been talking about. And then people often meet others who are in similar circumstances. And these aren't older people all the time. These can be young people as well. And mentally that can help them a great deal. You know, a problem shared is a problem halved, isn't it?
So it is important to get people interested and doing this. We know that there is the mental want and need to do this, but physically it can be lacking. So it's just been able to get that switch over, so the mental holding back on doing the physical exercise is taken away. And are the ways to find out about this online through these 15 charities?
Yes, there certainly is. Yes, let me give you the website is www.weareundefeatable.co.uk. But also the campaign support, there will be packs distributed to every GP surgery and the community pharmacies in England. And as I say, those TV ads, you'll see those next week. So I do hope that people get inspired. There are many charities behind this: Age UK, the MS Society, Rethink Mental Illness, Stroke Association versus Arthritis, to name a few of them.
But all working together to make sure that message comes across. Do not give in, be undefeatable, make the most of everything you can do, and use that to improve your overall quality of life.
That's wonderful. That's the message.
Well,
thank you.
Green Goddess Diana Moran, thank you for joining us.
It's been my pleasure. Keep on keeping fit.
Another new song for you now. This is Aaron Drift.
Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me what you feel. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me for how long you know. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me what you feel. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me what you feel.
Aaron Drift with Sun Goes Down here on the Milk Bar. A recent survey about Cope Funeral Care has given us an insight into more on how we would like to spend our funeral. Admittedly, we don't actually get to see it, but we want to know what happens after we have gone, with 82% wanting their family to make their ashes into a tree. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Regan Drew from Co-op Funeral Care and Ricky Tomlinson, who knows a thing or two about family trees, being part of the royal family. Hello to you both.
Hi.
Good morning, Ked.
So, tell us a bit more about this survey to begin with.
So the survey's just shown how we're moving away from traditional religious services and making it more personalised and unique to reflect the life that we led.
And with the way in which our remains are then treated, with people wanting things like going up in a firework or being turned into a ring, it's certainly something got different to, maybe Nana's time in the royal family where she was on top of the telly.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, it's horses for courses, isn't it? I mean, I'm a traditionalist, but if you want to go up in the firework, that's fine. Or some people want to the ashes make it into a little piece of jewellery or whatever. That's great. But I'm a traditionalist, and I like the old-fashioned funeral service and all that, and a couple of nice hymns and whatever. But I wouldn't mind being turned into a tree. You get your ashes and mix it with some soil or whatever. Plant a tree, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, you get to be the nutrients that enables new life to grow on this planet. And if we all did that, the world would be a greener place.
It would. It'd be a far better place, yeah.
Now, I mean, sadly, we know you've lost colleagues from the royal family who... did they talk about their wishes on what was going to happen after they'd gone?
No, they never, because we didn't even know Caroline was ill, ever. We never, ever got to know that she was ill until she actually died. I didn't have a clue.
And it's that strength of carrying on sometimes which can stop us talking to our nearest and dearest about what we really should be doing.
Well, I don't think we ever think it's going to come to us. I mean, I'm beginning to realise now at my age that it's coming. I'm just going to put it off as long as I can, to be honest with you. But no, I think people should talk about it, and I think they should, if they have any last wishes, I think they should let it be known so that they can, be carried out when they do pass on.
Yeah, because, I mean, pets are starting to turn up at funeral services too. Is that something that either of you two fancy having along?
I would have my dog in a second. He's got a little tux, so I would like him to walk in front of the hearse.
And Ricky, any furry friends in your world?
No, I've got a dog shop. I own a dog shop, and I'm very fond of dogs, a poodle parlour and all that. But no, I don't want the dog there, the poor old dog. No. Yep. I just thought the old traditional funeral will do me.
Mm-hmm. But there are some interesting ones being suggested as well. I mean, with is it down to about 10% who are looking for a religious service now?
Yeah, just about 10% of people still want the traditional service, but I think a big part of it is people didn't know the options were there. And I think learning this, and we're on Twitter today with the hashtag #MyFuneralWish, we're wanting people to express what they want, share your ideas, and let people know what's out there to be done.
Because the traditional black isn't for everybody when it comes to the outfits to wear. Bright colours to reflect a joyous life can be there too.
Absolutely. People are coming in bright colours and fancy dress and odd socks and all things to reflect a person's life.
Mm-hmm.
And people's favourite colours as well, featuring in all of that. But the one that intrigued me was the superhero-themed funeral. How does that one work?
It's just, if the family asks, we're here to accommodate. We'll dress up in anything. We've had superhero, princesses, football themes where people wear the tie or will wear the football shirt. We'll do whatever it is for the family. It's that one person's last day, so anything you ask us, we'll accommodate.
Mm.
And it is making sure it all fits in. And Ricky, again, back to your traditional view of things. I mean, are there hymns or songs that you want to be included?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What have you? Have you got a playlist?
Abide with me, because my dad loved that, and when he went to a few occasions when he went to Wembley to watch Liverpool, I think they still do open up with Abide with me, and then Eternal Father, which is another one. It's beautiful. It's about people on the sea and with widows living by the Mersey and all like that. That's tremendous, but I love all that. But I can respect other people's wishes about what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just, as I say, I've just been to Dottie's funeral and Joe Longthorn's, and that was a mixture of both. It was great. There was comedy, there was humour, but there was dignity, two beautiful services, and so why can't we combine the two?
Yep, absolutely. And it's also thought about what the coffin's going to be made of as well. There are many options out there, including bamboo and the likes these days.
Yeah, we've got bamboo, wicker. You can have banana leaf, cardboard, picture coffins. Really, we've got the wool coffins. Anything.
And again, it's all down to personal choice and making sure that we go off in the same way as we would have lived our life. If we really want to be environmentally friendly, we can carry that on past and beyond the grave.
Yeah, we're encouraged to live that way, so why not die that way? Go with something you believe. If you're into saving the planet, which we all should be, go biodegradable. Go something more eco-friendly.
And it does become difficult sometimes to talk about these things. As Ricky, as you say, as we all start to get a bit older, it does become more obvious when we're losing more friends and family, and we're the ones who may be helping others through difficult times.
Absolutely, but it's horses for courses, isn't it? I sort of like the traditional thing because I don't know what it's like now, but in the old days when we were born, my mum would go to church and go to the church and get what they call churched. Then later on, we were christened in church, and so I don't think it's asking too much to go and finish our days in church. It's not a big thing, and if you've got faith, and someone who's looked after me, because I've had a life that's been up and down. I mean, skint and lost my home and bounced back, and people have been really good to me, and I just think that you can say thanks for whoever's responsible for that. You can say thank you. And as I say, I still love that old tradition. I went to the States about 2 years ago, and we went into a black church down in the south of the States, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was gospel singers and dancing and singing, and it was wonderful. It hasn't got to be this black tie and black shirt and everyone's miserable. It can be just the opposite, but you can get that particular blessing if you so wish.
So plenty of options out there. It is important to talk about what you're looking for. Also, people worry about the costs of their funeral care as well, and there's ways and means to make sure that you're not putting that sort of burden onto your family when it does turn into your time to go. But lots more in the survey, I am sure. Regan, where can we go to find out more about all of that?
You can go on our website, coop.co.uk/funeral trends, and again, we're using the hashtag on Twitter, MyFuneralWishes, to find out what other people are saying.
Yep, so have a look at it, think about it, a bit of a chat within the family, and make sure everybody understands what's going on and what your choices are. Well, maybe a very, very long time before any of us are having to have a funeral planned in our honour. But for now, Ricky Tomlinson and Regan Drew, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Another new tune to finish things off on the show this week musically, Todd Mosby. This is Open Waters. Fantastic sound of Open Waters by Todd Mosby here on the Milk Bar. That's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining us back with episode 533 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the Milk Bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the Milk Bar. Yeah.